The lore is big, but the town is small by any measure. The population sits around 1,300 folks, but if it had been up to the Spanish over 250 years ago, well, we might be standing in one of the biggest cities in Texas. For that story, we're going to visit the ruins of Presidio de San Sabá, an abandoned Spanish fort, and a battered reminder of just how fierce the Texas frontier truly was.
So this fort is the only remnant of the Spanish's attempts to colonize this part of Texas. And it's hard to wrap your head around, but at one point there were over 400 Spanish citizens living within these walls. Soldiers, families, priests, and they had come here with the intentions of making this area the next great Spanish community of Texas, even bigger than San Antonio. So what happened? Well, a lot of bloodshed.
The Spanish had already established missions in East Texas and San Antonio, but in the 1750s, they decided to push even deeper into the heart of Texas.
The Spanish were bound and determined to cement their claims to Texas by establishing a permanent presence in the center of Texas.
This is Terry Kelly, who's been researching this fort for years. Through first-hand accounts and extensive digs, researchers have learned a lot about life inside these walls.
You'd have smelled them cooking beans, you'd have had the kids running around, you'd have had chickens, and we have a lot of turtles in the San Saba River. That's pretty easy to catch and apparently very, very tasty because the amount of turtle shells that the archaeologists found here just absolutely blew their minds.
I guess you couldn't be too picky in those days. However, very soon, Spain's conquest proved difficult. You see, the Spanish were enticed to the area by the Lipan Apache, who promised to become good Spanish citizens and who told legends of a nearby silver mine. The major problem is that with this fort and its corresponding mission, the Spanish angered not just the Comanche and other tribes, but Spain's mortal enemy, France.
The French were not happy about it.
Sure.
They got with these other Texas tribes and said, make sure that that mission and the Presidio fort are not successful.
Take the Spanish out.
Yeah.
4 miles downstream set the mission, and on a fateful morning in March of 1758, a warband of 2,000 natives armed with French weapons attacked.
In short order, they wiped out a good portion of the mission. 2 of the 3 priests were martyred, but they were able somehow, the survivors, to escape and get back up here to the Presidio.
It was a massacre and started an endless cycle of violence for the fort's residents.
They never reestablished the mission. The Presidio here remained under a siege for almost 10 years.
10 years?
10 years, continuous siege. You go outside the walls, they had one situation where 23 of the soldiers were killed one time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just living in these walls with the constant threat of Indian attack?
Oh, yeah.
The Spanish were prisoners in their own fort, and about 10 years in, they officially loaded the wagons and abandoned everything.
And they retreated back to San Antonio?
Went back to San Antonio and never ever made another effort to come back up here on a permanent basis. The Comanches then were the lords around here for almost 90 years.
This was the war for the West, and the Spanish had lost this battle. But one thing that remained long after the Spanish was the legend of that Apache silver mine. And over the years, numerous travelers came to the area seeking their fortune, including one very famous Texan, Alamo defender Jim Bowie, who left his name carved on the original gate stones.
We know he was here about, I think it was 1831, and it's B-O-U-I-E. And we say, well, wait a minute, Bowie is spelled B-O-W-I-E.
Yeah.
In Spanish, there is no W, so nobody can
Yeah.
pronounce B-O-U-I-E as Bowie.
Bowie. So he was up here looking for that
Exactly.
native silver.
Yeah.
People still looking for this thing?
Oh, of course.
Really?
Oh, yeah. People devote their entire lives to it and every penny they got.
You got some shovels? Let's go.
Go for it. Even sell you a map.
Yeah, sure he can.
Untold stories like that of Presidio de San Sabá are exactly why I love traveling Texas so much. To see the full episode or to get info about how to visit this spot, trip on over to thedaytripper.com.